What is a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust? There are several types of trusts that would fit within that description. So let me break them down. For people who are disabled and want to put their own money into a trust, and they are alive, they can use a certain kind of trust that's called a D4a or a D4c trust. So that type of trust will receive the assets, and the assets in that trust are not counted by the government as belonging to the person who had those assets. Why is that important? Because that person needs to receive government benefits. So let me give you an example. Imagine that a 30-year-old has been involved in a terrible auto accident, and as a result of the accident, they are quadriplegic. They can no longer work. Their medical bills are going to be, for the rest of their life, extremely high. As we all know, medical bills can cause extreme financial hardship. So here's this person who can't work, who is disabled, and they've been in a car accident. They receive a personal injury settlement from the person who caused this car accident. What do they do with that money? The money from the personal injury settlement, they then contribute to a special kind of trust, a D4a trust, and all of that money in the trust will not interfere with their ability to receive government benefits, including, for example, medical benefits, long-term care benefits, income benefits, any kind of benefit that they are entitled to receive. That is a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust that is for a younger person who has received a personal injury settlement, for example. Now let me switch gears. What about somebody who hasn't been in an accident and they don't have their own money, or they want to make sure that there is money for their spouse? So this isn't a personal injury settlement like the D4a. This is, okay, I'm concerned about my spouse when I die. I want to make sure that they don't become impoverished because, they might need long-term care, or I know they'll need long-term care because they have a terrible diagnosis and they're going to be in the nursing home or in memory care. How do I protect my spouse? In the state of Washington, the way we do that is through a will that contains an asset protection supplemental needs trust. This is a Medicaid trust in the way that all the assets that pass from the spouse who is dying first go into the trust for the surviving spouse, and Medicaid again won't count any of those assets as belonging to the surviving spouse, even though they came from their spouse who's just passed away. So that money in the trust, the assets in the trust, will not interfere with government benefits. That's the way to make sure that in no way will your surviving spouse ever become impoverished due to long-term care costs. One more kind of Medicaid Asset Protection Trust I want to talk about, and sometimes it's referred to as a 5-year look-back trust. The reason for that is that Medicaid has a rule that says whatever you do 5 years before applying for benefits, we don't care about. So you can give away the family farm, you can give away your home, you can give away your cabin, you can give away money, whatever it is, you can give that away. And Medicaid doesn't care that you gave it away if you did so 5 years or more beyond the time that you apply for Medicaid benefits. So sometimes families, when they do planning, they say, I want to make sure that this legacy property is always kept in my family. I don't have a diagnosis, or maybe I just got a diagnosis, but it's going to be 5 years before I need care, or I've got 5 years of long-term care insurance. I want to protect this asset. How is it done? How it is done often is by transferring the asset in question to an irrevocable trust, which is the Medicaid 5-year look-back trust. In the state of Washington, that person cannot be the trustee of the trust, cannot be a beneficiary of the trust, cannot receive any benefit from the asset they put into the trust, but that's not their concern. They didn't need to benefit from it. They wanted to protect and preserve the asset for their family. So by giving the asset away to an irrevocable trust to which they have no control or benefit more than 5 years before they need long-term care and apply for Medicaid, they've met the 5-year look-back rule. They've given away the asset. It's no longer theirs. So that's another type of trust that would be considered a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust. When we're talking about trusts, they differ so much depending upon your situation. In order to navigate and figure out what is the right trust for you, what's the right planning for you, see your elder law attorney.